Napoli fans around the world, welcome to Napoli Talk, guys. Disappointing result at home against Udinese. I don't know, guys, what it is, but this team over the last two games, they've not been able to get the 3 points. They've not been able to capitalize on Inter dropping points. And it seems like this Serie A might be a case of no, you have it, no, no, I have it, no, you have it, no, I have it. And yeah, guys, I think this team has run out of gas, the players look tired. They look tired out there. And I know that there's this whole, oh, but we only play one game a week. Guys, this team does not even have the players to sustain one game a week. I mean, we had to bring on off the bench Okafor, who failed his medical 2 weeks ago with Leipzig. So this is clearly not a team that has depth. Um, Players are coming on from the bench, replacing others in positions that it's not theirs. Raspadori coming on for Anguissa. You could not pick two more different players. Um, and obviously, we had, yes, a change of formation and all that. But why are we changing formation? It's because we don't have a replacement for Anguissa. It's not because we thought that the new formation was going to be better for us. We literally don't have a choice. When we bring on people from the bench, we have to get creative with how to do things. And we are with our third choice center back, or left back, sorry. Second choice center back with Juan Jesus for maybe the 10th game in a row. And at left back, we're with Mazzocchi, a right-footed player. So we normally have Oliveira. If not Oliveira, we have Spinazzola. Spinazzola is not the type of player that can usually play 90 minutes, let alone a few 90 minutes in a row. And so he's going to be out for maybe a month following an injury that he picked up. That's typical. You cannot rely on a player like that. Definitely not to, cover someone for 2 months like it might be with Oliveira. This is a player that you have as your third choice, right? This is what Mazzocchi did today is what Spinazzola should have been used as, as a third choice. Instead, he is our second choice. And so when he fails, we put in our third choice, which is, even a step down. And that's Mazzocchi. And Mazzocchi is just not at the level, guys. Like, he's got uh, a lot of grinta, he's got a lot of, he wants to do the job. And actually, that's what penalized him today because sometimes he just doesn't think, right? He just wanted to keep that ball in play. He wanted to show that he's this, guy that's gonna run after every ball and do. But sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes you don't need that. That's actually the opposite of what you need. Just let the ball go out. Let your team regroup. Do things calmly, correctly, with quality. First with quality, and then you put in the effort. But if you are putting in the effort and you don't have quality before that, you are just wasting energy. You are putting your teammates completely at risk, and you're going to give the ball away. And it's basic things, guys. Think about some of the basic things that you learn about when you're like 8 years old, right? What does your coach tell you? They tell you pass and move, but pass first. And pass means accurate pass. Then you move. The fundamental building block is the pass. It's the quality. Then we can add some movement. Then we can do grinta and all this, and we run around like Gattuso, all over the pitch. Fine. But first quality. First, don't lose the ball. Don't lose the ball. You just scored a goal, man. Your team just scored a goal. We are 3 minutes from the end of the first half. Just, man, just calm, please. And he was not able to do that. And it's now 2 games in a row, unfortunately, that Mazzocchi has cost us. Against Roma, he was marking Di Lorenzo instead of Angelino, and now it's 4 points that this guy has cost us. But it's not his fault, right? This is who he is. This is not Mazzocchi having some bad games. This is his quality. We bought a guy last year for 2 or 3 million, okay, which should tell you everything you need to know about the quality of a player, for 2 or 3 million from Salernitana, a team that was maybe one of the worst teams in recent years in Serie A. And that's the type of player that we got. You cannot blame an apple for being an apple or a fish for being a fish. Mazzocchi is Mazzocchi, okay? We know what he brings to the table. My problem then is, why is this guy a year into his adventure still part of the team? This is one of the guys that we should have tried to sell this winter, or at least, if not to sell, because he's from Naples and so you want him in the squad and all that. You need to get a backup that's better than that. You need to get a backup that's better, um, because Conte has had 6 months to take a look at this guy, and for sure, this is not the type of player that I think should be part of this project. 100%. Now, my question is also, how bad must Rafa Marin be, right? How bad must he be? Because is there not a scenario where you can play Rafa Marin as a center back on the left and Juan Jesus as a left back? We know that Juan Jesus can play that way, right? Or is there not a scenario where, instead of playing Mazzocchi that way, you can maybe play with three at the back with Di Lorenzo, Rachmani, and Juan Jesus? Maybe you put an extra man in the midfield. I don't know. You try to control the game more. Maybe you keep the same number of midfielders, but this time you play something different. You play Lukaku and Raspadori behind him or next to Simeone. I don't know. Do something. But whatever it is that you do, you cannot have in your starting 11 Mazzocchi, not after especially what he did against Roma last weekend. So look, I'm not trying to hate on the guy, because, as I said, an apple is an apple. Mazzocchi is always going to be Mazzocchi, and I'm not blaming him for that. I am blaming Conte for thinking that we can do 90 minutes with that, when I think there are other options. Even with such a limited squad, man, there are other options. So I don't know. I'm disappointed in Conte, because I think, had any of us, guys, there's, you know, 50, 100 people on this live, whatever it is, I think we all would have made a different choice before this match regarding Mazzocchi. I don't think any one of us would have wanted to have him play there. Also, because it's the way that Conte plays, you're not even asking the guy to be a regular left back. Like, the way Conte has his team, it's that the right backs and left backs, they go in the middle of the field, so they're kind of midfielders, and that's just not something that Mazzocchi can do, right? I want to get to your comments after, but let me just go into some of the things that I had in my head. So number one is this whole Mazzocchi thing. I think there was other options. Another one is that, look, I think we really look tired out there, guys. And especially the wingers, right? The guys that could have made the difference today and should have made the difference. And we'll see with the tactical analysis later why they should have made the difference. Neres and Politano, they are just done, right? Neres has never been the type of guy that does game after game after game after game. He's always been inconsistent. Ask any Benfica fan, Ajax fan. He's always had these ups and downs, and it's not one game up and one game down, but it's maybe 3 or 4 games up and then 3 or 4 games down. And when he's down, he's really down. And we're in this patch now that he's down and he can't do the 90 minutes. He should take a break, all that kind of stuff. And I think when Kvara was here, he felt the need to do more, okay? Because he wanted to gain a spot. Now that Kvara's not there, he feels a bit more confident in his spot, and maybe you subconsciously try less, right? And Politano, guys, I mean, Spalletti used to play him for 60 minutes only. He's been doing now 20 games, 25 games this year, where he's been playing almost 80, 90 minutes every single time. And when he did that thing against Juventus, right, where it was maybe the 70th minute or something like that, and he lost the ball in Juventus's half, and he ran all the way back, and he was like falling over, tripping over, trying to run back, but then he finally gets the ball and he makes that tackle, and then he celebrates as if he scored a goal when the ball just went out for a throw in, and then he just falls on the ground, right? He's just completely dead. I mean, at the time, we're all thinking like, wow, great stuff from Politano, but that should be a warning that this guy has just depleted all his energies and he probably needs a 3 week vacation to the Maldives right now. You know? I mean, these guys are just not able to keep this up. Um, and it's just something that's to some extent typical with this squad. We were never able to sustain a full year, even with our Scudetto season. We basically stopped playing from March onwards that year. So this is not a team that's used to that. There's a clear issue with fitness, I think. And so yeah, we're paying the price, and we've got tough games away from home now. Lazio and Como, not easy games to go and play. Lazio, we know very well the damage that they can do to us, having lost to them twice this season. Um, and then we have the Como game, so not easy at all. Um, Guys, the Mercato should have been a time when we bring in some fresh energy, and instead, like, some of the players that we bought even earlier in the Mercato, like Billing, still have not made a debut. And Okafor, which came off the bench today, he showed that he had some dribbles in his locker, but he wasn't fresh, he wasn't sharp. So we've wasted an opportunity to bring in some energy into this team. And I don't know if these starters that have done so well for us are going to be able to, do another 14 games from now until the end of the season at the level that maybe we thought that we could have sustained. This will be very tough for them. And, I just hope and pray that Inter have the same sort of struggle as us. They looked very tired against Fiorentina. They've got some tough games as well, international games, and so I hope that both clubs, um, or I hope that Inter have the same sort of issue as us, because I think that we will have that issue, um, even if we just have one game a season, one game a week. Sorry, we do not have the squad even for that. We have 12, 13 players that we can rely on, and the rest is very poor, very, very poor level. And we saw that today when no one off the bench could make an impact. All right, guys. Now I want to get to some of your comments. First of all, I want to shout out to Lewis C for donating. Man, thank you for your continuous support to the channel. Always well appreciated. Says, why are they so tired? No Copa or European competitions. Okafor looked terrible. It's a shame. That's all we got in this transfer window. Why are they tired? I think because the players that we have actually played more minutes than some of the like Anguissa has played more minutes than Barella. Our midfielders have played more minutes than the Inter midfielders because Inter they have a bigger squad and they can rotate. So they played their Champions League games. Somehow they did such a good job in the Champions League, but they played a lot of those games with their reserves. And even in the Serie A, they change things around. And when it gets the 70th minute, Inzaghi makes the subs, whereas we never made a sub, ever. How many games did we finish with no subs until the 80th minute? And maybe it was just Simeone coming on for Lukaku. I can name a lot. A lot of the time that happened, guys. Scott McTominay maybe got subbed off once, maybe twice this season and in the last 5 minutes. You know, maybe once he got subbed off a bit earlier. But these are players that have played almost 90 minutes 25 times. Whereas maybe the Inter boys, they've played maybe 27, 28 games because some of them they didn't even come on as subs. 27, 28 games, but maybe their average is 65, 70 minutes. So maybe they have more games, but less minutes in total. And that makes a difference. That makes a difference because, you know, going for a run for 30 minutes doesn't tire you. Going for a run and every incremental extra 10 minutes, you really feel it, right? So after a certain point, every extra 10 minutes really has an impact on your body and on the recovery and all that. And plus, as I said, during the week, I think these guys suffer a lot under Conte. They suffer a lot his training sessions. They are not easy training sessions, guys. So it's not like they're there like chilling for the week. They might have a tougher week than some of their colleagues, even with those colleagues playing midweek football. So that's kind of my opinion about it. Let me get to some of the other comments from the members, and then I'll get to the ones from everybody else. Shout out to the members. So Maximus with his comment says Mazzocchi can't be starting anymore. And Juan Jesus finally had a Juan Jesus moment. Yeah, look, I'm not even mad at Juan Jesus for that because it was avoidable, but it's literally his first mistake in 10 games, and I don't think he had an overall bad game. Like, he had some good moments after that. I did penalize him in the player ratings for it, but maybe it's even a bit harsh. Whereas I think the issue is more with Mazzocchi, like just recognize that that ball is going out. It's fine. It's a throw in. It's not even a corner. Just chill about it. Regroup. Just use your head a little bit, man. Um, if only there was a month where Man and Adiele could have bought in players. What a waste. And Napoli lucky with a point. I don't think we were lucky with a point, man. I don't think Udinese did that much. I think a point is fair. Olit says, "What is this, man? We should probably have scored one more, but what was that performance from Mazzocchi?" Yeah, yeah. Look, a lot of heart from Mazzocchi, but poor. And again, it's not even that he had a bad performance relative to his standards. I mean, that's his standards, guys. Like, this is Mazzocchi we're talking about, man. We're not talking about Oliveira. If Oliveira had done what he did, we would be talking about like, wow, what a bad game from Oliveira. But this is just the level of Mazzocchi. Like this is who we bought, and it's a bit also unfair to him because look, that ball was going out. He tried to keep it in, but ultimately it was on his left foot, and he's a right-footed player. So it was on his weaker foot. He maybe didn't put the power, the height, the accuracy that he would have maybe put had the ball been on the other side. And maybe he instinctively wanted to get to that ball and clear it in a certain way, which is different than what actually happened. But because it was on the left side, because it was on his left foot, it didn't work out for him, right? But maybe had that same situation happened on the right, on his stronger foot, then he would have actually maybe found a teammate. But again, that's about then knowing like your own limits and your own limitations and adapting. But look, I don't want to get too much into the whole Manzocchi thing because I mean I feel bad for the kid as well. Paul says Udinese played well and deserved the draw. I think we missed Kvara tonight. Disappointed both with the result and no big signing as a replacement. I think we did miss Kvara also just as as an alternative, right? Because look, maybe this was a game where Kvara would have started and maybe he wouldn't have scored or he wouldn't have made an assist. But it would have given Neres some time to refresh on the bench and then maybe the guy coming on would have made it. Maybe Neres himself, who today didn't make an impact, could have made an impact from the bench. We don't know. We will never know. But I think for sure having two players that you can choose from is a lot better than when you have just one, right? So yeah, disappointing. But I think you bring up a good point, Paul, which is that Udinese played well. They were attacking. They were dangerous in the first half. They kept attacking in the second half. They broke on the counter a lot of times. Thauvin, he had a very solid game in that number 10 position. I think he's got so much quality. And Udinese, with like Delofeo a few seasons ago, they always have that, right? They have a very physical team, very, rough to some extent, but then they have like a great little number 10 that can bring some quality, that can pick passes, that can just give something different than just a team that just has physicality, right? And so it's not easy to play against Udinese, but they put in the right approach and they were smart as well, right? They wasted time and all that, which I don't like to see, but they used every single tool at their disposal. They used it well. They wasted maybe 10 minutes in this game in the second half, and the ref only conceded 5 and added an extra 30 seconds at the end, right? So I mean, credit to Udinese. They did what they could. But I think that even if we had an extra 20 minutes, I don't think we would have scored. So I'm not gonna sit here and complain about Udinese time wasting because, man, I'm in fact like the fact that the referee didn't give an extra 30 seconds there at the end that we maybe deserved, I was happy, man. I mean, just end this game, dude. This game is horrible to watch. It's, the earlier it ends, the better, because there's no way we would have scored with an extra 30 seconds. I mean, we just we just looked so bad, man. We looked so bad. Um, and let's see, guys. There's a lot of comments from the members that I gotta get through before everybody else. Better hope Fiorentina can replicate what they did. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And can clearly see Meret calling Jesus off the ball and ignores him. Maybe Meret was not loud enough. I don't know what happened between them. Buongiorno was on the bench, probably not match fit yet. Yeah, guys, what happened to Buongiorno is a lot more serious than we think because I think he's still way off from contributing to this team. Maybe he'll play the next game, but if he plays the next game, it will be nearly 2 months of him being off, and I think even if he plays, he's not at his peak level, and so we really have to hope that at least he can come back to that he can eventually come back to the level that he was because I don't think it's easy because it seems like a very nasty injury, the one that he had with his back. McTominay missed some chances. Big players needed to stand up. Look, I think McTominay overall did well, right? Because he missed some chances, but then he stepped up, literally with that header. And yeah, Anguissa and Lukaku were quiet. They got subbed off. But look, I don't blame Lukaku. He didn't get any crosses, any balls played into him, like zero. He got nothing his way, and Anguissa was tired. And it's very there's a super high correlation. When Anguissa plays well, Napoli plays well. When Anguissa is tired, Napoli doesn't play well because Anguissa is the extra man in this team, right? He can play as a striker, as a midfielder. He can cover gaps. He's everywhere on the field. And so when he's in form, we literally have like an extra man. Well, not literally, but figuratively, we have an extra man. And when he's tired, he contributes zero. So we either have an extra man or we have a man less with Anguissa. There's never kind of that game where he's average. There's always like he's either man of the match or he's non-existent. So yeah, I mean, it's a payments comment. Says disappointing to see us this tired, but Mazzocchi cost us the last two games. Yeah, so we agree on that. Raspadori and Ngonje not good enough. Also, lack of winger when Ned is not informed costs us. So yeah, me and Payman 100% agree with everything there. Gustavo Braz says, y'all remember Mazzocchi's first game? He got a red card like 5 minutes in. Bro, you just unlocked a memory there. But again, that was the same thing, right? That he was just so eager that he had a complete brain fart. And this is exactly what happened today. He finally starting a game and he's so eager to show that he's got all this energy and all this thing and he's going after every ball that he forgets quality. He forgets about the most fundamental aspect, which is, yeah, it's great that you can get to the ball before it leaves the field, but then what are you going to do with it? Are you going to give it back to the other team? Well, then we don't need this. Incredible, man. Incredible. Dom BX says Manzocchi definitely disrupted our chemistry today on both ends of the field. My question though, if you're Conte, who do you bring in besides him if Oliveira and Spina are out? As we said, man, maybe you can put Juan Jesus on the left and play Rafa Marina center back. I mean, give the kid a chance, right? Like, we know Mazzocchi's level. We know it's bad, right? So why not give Rafa Marin a chance? I mean, is he really that bad that he's not going to play a single minute for us this season? I cannot believe that a guy who was in the Real Madrid youth system for so long that they didn't want to sell him permanently. So they have this formula where yes, they give it to Napoli, but they have a option to rebuy him and like he must be worth something, right? Real Madrid must see something in this kid, right? I don't know. He can't be that bad. Can't be that bad. So I would have maybe played him and put Juan Jesus on the left if you don't want to change formation. Helcom says worrying signs, unfortunately, against an inferior squad. Luca caused a lot of trouble and helped Udinese build most of their attacks. Mazzocchi, lol. Juan Jesus not a solid and very tired midfield. Exactly, man. Exactly. And Napoli 41482, member for 4 months, says, thank Juan Jesus for giving Udinese that goal. I don't think it's that simple because Juan Jesus made a mistake, but there was, I think, a lot more that Mazzocchi could have done. Maybe even Meret didn't scream loud enough. Like, we don't know. He is one of maybe three or four reasons why Udinese scored that goal. And even blaming Mazzocchi, I think, um, is a bit harsh because yes, he gives that ball away, but is it really the most dangerous ball in the world? I mean, yes, it goes centrally outside the box, but then Udinese still have to score a very, very good goal to make it all work, right? And I've never seen a goal like that on the right side with your right foot and it curls. You hit it with the inside of your right foot and it curls around as if you hit it with the outside. I mean, that's crazy. This guy, he scored the goal of his life against us just like the Roma guy Angelino did last week, on the volley, like first time. All these dudes are scoring the goals of their lives against us. So what I want to say is that it's not like it was a back pass to the goalie which put the striker in front of goal. We see that sometimes, no? Think about Inter against Fiorentina. That's what happened, no, with Moise Kean. Moise Kean's third goal. The ball literally went to him, a back pass. That's not what happened with us. This was something that Udinese still had to do a lot to then actually go on and score. Lewis, man, thank you for your donation. Too kind, man. I mean, please, you don't need to donate. I mean, as a member, I'll read your comment. But thank you, man. Says do a Scudetto poll, yes or no, to win it. All right, man. Let's do a Scudetto poll, and then we'll get into some other comments. Will Napoli win the Scudetto? Actually, let me say, will Inter win the Scudetto? So then you don't say that I jinx Napoli. Let's jinx Inter. Will Inter win the Scudetto? Yes or no? The poll is active on one condition, guys. If you have the capacity to use your fingers to answer the poll, you better have one, like the video at the very least, and two, if you're not subscribed, to subscribe. I mean, guys, come on. It's the least, no? This is like asking to vote and then you're not from the country. I mean, bro, be part of the country, no? Be part of this community, man. And spread the love, spread the likes. Come on, guys. And not for Napoli, not for their performance, but for me. For me that I am sick, bro. I don't know if you can tell, but I am so sick right now, so congested, and yet I'm here, bro. I'm here. I'm holding my sneeze in, man. At one point, I'm gonna erupt, man. You know, I'm gonna erupt bro. We haven't seen something like this since Pompeii, bro. I'm gonna just burst right now. But yeah, I've got this like sneeze that it's just, when it's about to come, but I'm holding it in for you guys, because I don't want to be nasty in front of you guys. I don't want you guys to unsubscribe. That's not cool. Let me get to some of the other comments, guys. So, let's see. So from people that are not members, so that I give everybody a chance. Anthony Navarro says such a long season left, but today kind of showed me the players aren't confident in themselves to pull through. Unfortunately, with this attitude, we won't win the Scudetto. Conte has a week to prepare. I'll ignore the Conte has a week to prepare because I told you that why we are tired. I will comment on the confidence thing. Do you remember last week or earlier this week I made a video about Manna? You guys saw the video, yes? About Manna. And I said, why is Manna talking about fourth spot when he has an opportunity to inject confidence into the players and into the entire atmosphere and say, we did a great job so far. We can win the Scudetto with these boys, with Conte, and it's not the end of the world that we didn't get Garnacho. Like, these guys are good enough. Inject some confidence. But if you go and do a press conference and you say, yeah, we tried to buy Comuzzo, but it didn't work. Yeah, we tried to find Garnacho and he didn't want to come. And then we tried Adeyemi and he didn't want to come. And by the way, our thing is fourth spot. If I'm a if I'm a player in this club, then I think, are we not good enough? Then why did we? Why were we so desperate to get all these players? Are we not good enough? And maybe deep down you know that you need these players. Maybe deep down you know that it's useful to have another center back and another this and another that. But this was an opportunity to just put a bit of a different thought in their head. And the thought should have been like, look, the club really believe in this group of players. Yeah, we maybe wanted to buy some players. We're not gonna fool anybody. We did want to buy these players, but we don't think it's necessary 100% for what these guys are trying to achieve. And by the way, the minimum objective this season was the Champions League, but now, let's be honest, it's the Scudetto. We trust these players. We hope they do it. If they don't do it, fine, no pressure. But we really hope that these players can do it. Why not have that? Why not have that mindset? I don't understand. I think that would have injected a lot more confidence into these players. Instead, after that press conference that everybody said, "Oh, it's amazing. He's so honest. He's so this," I thought, "Ooh, I don't know. I don't know about this. Too honest and too negative." So, yeah, I don't know, guys. If you think the same as me, if you think the same as me, um, let's see some more comments, guys. Embarrassing game, says Mr. Boobin. I like that name, Mr. Boobin, or Bobbin, maybe. I don't know how you pronounce it. Then Foxjob says these ties feel like losses to some extent, guys. They really are. You see, I have a cold. These really are. Scoundrel says second time we fumbled an opportunity. Hodges and Pasquale need to become possessed by calcio spirits or we're in trouble. Yeah, dude. If they are just playing at their own level, we're screwed. But this is also like I think if you have players around you that are at a good level, then even someone that's average, right? He can raise his level. And the players around him can compensate. They can make that guy look good. And that's a little bit what happened with Juan Jesus, where he has been playing well, but honestly, Rachmani and Oliveira have covered him a few times, and they've made him look good. And the team, has put him in a condition as well. But now all of a sudden, you put Mazzocchi next to him, and there's no one to cover this guy and there's no chemistry between the two of them. And you pile up all these reasons, and then you get that he makes a mistake that he's prone to making because that's in his nature, and the other guy also does the same because that's in his nature, and you get a cocktail of mistakes. So, yeah, I think we cannot in the next game play with Mazzocchi for the sake of the players going onto the field, they need to feel confident, man. And if you turn up against Lazio away from home with Mazzocchi once again in the starting 11, you're done, man. We're not going to win that game with Mazzocchi in the starting. I'm telling you, we're not going to win the game. Just because from a mental point of view, the players will not believe it. The players will not believe that they can get away with it. Whereas if you change things up, maybe you can. Maybe you can. Maybe there is something that you can do that is not Mazzocchi. Um, but yeah, any idea when Buongiorno's back? Hopefully next week, man. But I'd be surprised if he can all of a sudden play 90 minutes. I'd be very surprised. The metaphysician says deserved draw. When we lost the gasoline and brought players from the bench, we did not create anything at all. Yeah, dude, the bench was not useful. Dude, they were not useful. Not a great performance, says Woody88. Udinese are one of those tricky sides which can cause problems. We need Buongiorno back for Lazio. Yeah, man, exactly. Lawrence Moore says no creative players in this team. I said this even with Kvara. Now that we've lost him, we've got nobody. Dude, and like Engonja, for example, he should be creative. He should be some guy that we bring off the bench and does something. But he's so bad. Guys, Engonja is so bad. And I've never been so explicit about it before, but dude, there is a reason why Conte's not playing him. And I can't remember which video it is where he started. I think it was the Coppa Italia game. And so we got a chance to analyze his movements a bit more. And I was like, dude, this guy, like, he does not lift his head. He just looks down at the ground, down at the ball, does I don't know. He's not aware of his surroundings. And today as well, man, he came on, wasn't in the right position to receive the passes. A few dribbles didn't go his way. He didn't know where the ball was. I mean, dude, the guy is just bad in my opinion. And yes, he has a good strike in him. He can score a goal. He's good in the box. Like he has this sense of awareness, but we're not playing him anywhere near close enough to where I think he's useful. I think he's much more useful as a second striker, a bit like Raspadori. But out on the wing, I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. Um, but yeah, maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe I'm just mad. But I'm mad at players that do not make an impact off the bench, because man, in theory you should be rested. You should be making a difference. Um, Super Alexander says change poll to Inter Atalanta Napoli because Atalanta is lurking. I don't think Atalanta, man. I think, or maybe yes, maybe they're still in it. They won 5-0. I don't know, but I feel like we dealt them the blow, you know? I think that loss against us was heavy for them. Will they be able to somehow crawl back up? Maybe, but it will require us and Inter to both keep playing like this. And for them to be a bit more consistent because they are not very consistent, Atalanta, or they've not been in the last few weeks. Phil says, thanks for the live. We're back in therapy mode. Yeah, man. Little off-topic question. What's the name of the song they're playing after the Serie A anthem lately? Kvara also had it in his goodbye video. Um, Man, what's the name? But it's basically like the new kind of Curva B song. Um, Let me see. Um, Napoli della gente, I think it's called. Yeah, I think it's called. I think it's called that. But yeah, I think that's the one. Um, but I might be wrong. I might be wrong. And yeah, also they lost Lookman, Atalanta. Anyways, guys, let's go to the analysis of the game. And this is why I think we this screenshot here tells me why we lost the game. Okay. So it's the fourth minute of the match. And this seems like a very innocuous screenshot, right? But what do you notice? You notice Conte's game plan, which is Anguissa and McTominay playing as strikers next to Lukaku. You know, basically, this should have allowed Lukaku to be one on one with his defender, okay? Because the other defenders have to deal with McTominay and Anguissa. But what is the problem that we see here, guys? We see that the players that have to then go and feed the ball to Anguissa and McTominay, if you're doing it down the middle, is on the left Mazzocchi and on the right Di Lorenzo. And look, Di Lorenzo might be able to do the job, right? He's got quality. But on the left, you've got Mazzocchi. So that you're never going to get something there. So then it becomes very predictable that it's Di Lorenzo who is going to try all the time to pick up the pass. And it becomes very easy for then Udinese to read the game, right? Now, what does this also mean? I think knowing that you have Mazzocchi and Di Lorenzo as your midfielders alongside Lobotka, it it means that look, you're not gonna create chances down the middle. You're in this game, you're just not. Okay, if we had Oliveira, it would have been different. Oliveira's able to do a bit more, but I think what you needed to have here is Politano and Neres. You see Neres at the bottom of the screen. There, make the difference, right? You want to get the ball as fast as possible to the wingers, and they need to then point to their man and make the difference, skip past their man. and put in a cross for McTominay, Anguissa, or Lukaku. And we didn't see that, guys. We didn't see that at all today. They were not able to beat their man. They never did it. They never did it, man. Neres, Politano struggled a lot, and this whole game plan of having Anguissa and McTominay up there, it relies on good crosses from the wingers, which never happened, or it relies from good, accurate passes from the middle. But it's very hard you're gonna get that from Mazzocchi on the left, and so then it becomes very obvious that it's all going to be coming from Di Lorenzo on the right. And when something's obvious, it's very easy to defend against. Then I think that's the key of the game. Then I can show you other screenshots of what happened in the game, but I think this sums it up pretty nicely. And Udinese, on the other hand, they had a lot of class and flair, like this chance here. Tauvan, number 10, again, making things happen. A very good pass required Meret to make a good save. We had an opportunity here with Politano doing something a little bit different, going on this other side. It's a bit like what we saw in the Atalanta game. And here he had the chance to score, and he could have done a better job. McTominay here could have done a better job, so a bit wasteful in the first half, but then finally McTominay does score, right? And here it's 1-0, guys, and then this situation happens, right? With Meret maybe not being loud enough, maybe Juan Jesus panicking, I don't know. It's very hard to tell what happened. Puts it away, and here Mazzocchi, a crazy pass. Again, he tried so hard to keep it on, but you need quality. You need quality, and I don't know who he was trying to find here. But I think it's very clear that he didn't have anyone specific in mind, actually, because he's just trying to sprint so hard to get the ball that I don't think he has the time to realize who he needs to pass it to. And then this goal is objectively a very nice goal. So yes, we made a mistake, but Udinese had the quality today to actually capitalize. And then the second half, guys, was just bad. I mean, I don't even want to show you screenshots of the second half. So let's go to the player ratings. I still have this 4-2-3-1 in my graphics to show Napoli's formation. I might just change it once and for all to 4-3-3 because it's more accurate that way. So apologies that I still haven't changed it because now it's a bit more of a 4-3-3. But McTominay sometimes does go a little bit in that space. Maybe it's more of a 4-1-2-2-1 because it's more Anguissa and McTominay in this game that actually were up there together, almost like two number 10s, more or less, let's say. But anyways, um, numbers, these formation numbers are just they are what they are. Then during the game, things are very different. Like you saw Mazzocchi and Di Lorenzo coming up next to Lobotka. So, and I'm not gonna put them in midfield in my graphics. So they are what they are, these graphics. The point is not so much their position, but more so the score that these guys get. I think the midfield was okay. I think they didn't really have their best game, but I don't think we lost the game there. I think it was more that the wingers, Neres and Politano, couldn't make the difference, couldn't find crosses for Lukaku, and then the whole, as we say in Italian, the whole frittata, which I don't know why it's called like that, but it's like the French omelet, They made a French omelet back there. I don't know. I don't know why we say it, but that's the expression. Mazzocchi and Juan Jesus, man, I don't know what kind of language they speak to each other, but they did not understand each other there. Mazzocchi, unfortunately, man, it is what it is. That's his skill. That's his skill level. Um, Guys, that's the player ratings. Conte 5 because I think he could have done better with both the subs that he brought on. I think we were very confused in the last 15 minutes with what was going on the field. But also, I don't think he should have started Mazzocchi, to be honest. Now, I'll go to the press conference, guys, and then I'll end the live because I'm already almost an hour into this and I need to rest because I'm so sick right now. So I'm gonna do the press conference and then I'll call it a day. Um, let's see. Let's see. So Di Lorenzo spoke, first of all. So I know I have Conte up there, but Di Lorenzo spoke and he said, and they asked him, is there an issue with, fitness levels and all that? And Di Lorenzo said, no, it just looks that way when you're not playing very clean football. It looks like you're struggling physically, you're less in control of the game, and the whole team needs to do better defensively. We have to control the game more, and yeah. Um, and they ask him about what's the objective? Are you guys talking about the Scudetto? And he says, no, we don't speak about it much because the championship is still long. We didn't speak about it 2 years ago. So imagine now. I think they're lying. I think they're lying. Let me just blow my nose, guys, because I'm struggling out here. Okay. I can do this. 10 more minutes. um, so Conte, they ask him, is this a lost occasion? Is this because of the injuries? Is this because of the lack of squad depth? And he says, look, yeah, we definitely wanted to win this game, but Udinese has some great players. It's difficult to play against them, and they have Luca up top, who's 2 meters tall, great physical strength. So there's a lot of energy that gets used up. It's not easy to recover these energies that we've used up in the last few games, but I have nothing to say against my players. They gave it everything. We should have done a better job in the first half. We could have maybe had more goals. But these players are doing some extraordinary things, so let's just move forward and it's not the worst thing in the world to tie against this Udinese team. I don't know if I agree with that, but fine. Um, they say, look, it's similar to the game against Roma, where at the end, the team looked a bit lost, a bit tired. And he says, yeah, but the goal we conceded in the first half. So it's two very different games. This one was a lot more physical, 90 minutes of battle, and statistically we deserved the game more. I mean, when coaches start talking about statistics, it's never a good thing, right? Like, they try to hide behind that, but I don't think we were dangerous at all. Like, what statistics is he talking about, man? We didn't have a shot on target in the second half. Maybe one with Neres and one came close with McTominay, but we didn't create anything. Um, and he says, yeah, if someone's disappointed with two draws, then that's his problem, not mine. Conte sometimes can have these kind of answers that it's we can never, just because he did everything great so far, we can't be upset about this one game. And I don't know if I fully agree with that. I mean, you can be both thankful for what we've done so far, but also sad about this game and disappointed and critique him. Um, and they ask him about the table and how it looks, and he says, "Look, there's still 14 games. The objective is Europe." um, so that's the way we view things, and yeah, and that teams will try even harder when they play against you since you're at the top. And that's it. That's his press conference. Not the longest, not the most insightful. He obviously did not give us much. Danny says Matsuki's the kind of fella to say, now silly one when taking group photos. Uh, Lazio game next. Yeah. Um, Danny says, Big Dom, something is going around Spain. I'm sick over here too in Madrid. Bro, whatever is going around, it's no bueno, bro. It's no bueno. But it's annoying because I was sick last month, dude. I swear. Like, what is this? What is this, man? But yeah, man, thanks for the wishes that I get better, dude. And hopefully you guys out there stay safe, you know? Make sure you wash those hands. Don't get those germs, man. Ah, man, I hate being sick. I hate it. Um, I do like the amount of people of Scottish who travel and support McTominay to Napoli now. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of them, and it's disappointing that they didn't get to see a win, but at least they got to see the big man score. So yeah, but I saw a few of those when I was in Naples last time. There was an entire family uh, of uh, of Scottish people next to me. But yeah, guys. So next game Sunday against Lazio away from home. So yeah, yeah, guys. We have some tough games ahead of us now away from home. Two of them, Como and Lazio. Como is a good little team, man, and they're fighting for survival. You know, they are just 2 points above the drop zone, but they're tough. Like they lose games, but they don't lose badly, you know? Um, like they think about it. They like there's easier teams to play against that are higher up in the table. Like I would rather play Lecce and Verona, who are above them, than Como. Como have a goal difference of minus 12. But if you look at the bottom seven teams, okay, the other goal differences are minus 13, minus 23, minus 27, minus 13, minus 14, minus 17, minus 18. All worse than Como, right? So out of the bottom seven or eight teams, Como is the one that it's, I think, getting less points than what they deserve. And I look at goal difference as an indicator because I think that also shows towards the bottom of the table. That shows, I think, how solid you are. Um, but yeah, and look, they do concede goals, but teams around them, you know, I mean, Verona has conceded 53 goals, man, and Como 40. So I would much rather play Verona than Como. I don't know how Como is in that situation that they're in, but they're in there. I think they've got quality players. It's not easy. It's not easy, I think. And they do suffer in the last 10 minutes. So yeah. Yeah. And yeah, guys, get better, dude. All of you guys that are with a bit of a cold right now, get better. So Danny, Dom, do you speak Spanish? Yeah, a little bit, you could say. Not fluent. Even though I've been here now for 2 years. More, maybe two and a bit. My work is fully in English. So, like, my uni was in English, my master's was in English, and my work is in English, you know? So, I don't have a lot of chances to practice Spanish, and then Spanish people, they want to practice their English with me. So, yeah, it's not it's not happening. I don't speak it much. And then likelihood is that actually you meet Catalan people, like people in the office, they're Catalan. So you don't even speak Spanish. You speak, you hear Catalan a lot. So uh it's a mix, right? It's a mix of different things. So yeah. So that's the situation, boys. Uh anyways, I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna end it there, guys. I gotta recover from this because tomorrow we gotta work. We gotta make the bread. We gotta make the bread. We gotta make, how do you say it? We gotta bring the bread home. I don't know, but we gotta work. All right. we gotta deliver. We gotta create shareholder value tomorrow, right? We gotta make those shareholders happy. We gotta make sure that those people are happy. So I gotta recover, guys. That's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the live. Hope it was good therapy session after this draw. And look, guys, we're still worst case scenario 1 point ahead of Inter. I think that's crucial, but yeah, it could have been better. Let's see what Inter does against Fiorentina, man. For all we know, they lose again, and then it's a point gained relatively to them, right? And we look at the bright side. Anyways, with that, I'm off. I'll go get some meds. And as always, Forza Napoli sempre. Ciao.